Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. At first glance, the motion sounds responsible, even visionary. But vision without realism, it's political theater. And looking across the aisles, we can see a few self-proclaimed Shakespeare, Mozart, and even Molière among them.
Please, floor pause.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have a point of order to address. When he is addressing, he should address to the chair and not point fingers to...
Wasn't pointing any fingers, but okay.
The junior minister will refrain from making unnecessary... Order in the House.
This motion, for all its noble language, rests on a contradiction.
I have not finished giving my ruling. The junior minister will refrain from making unnecessary gestures towards any member of the House. Please address the chair.
I apologize, Mr. Speaker, sir. This motion, for all its noble language, rests on a contradiction we cannot afford to ignore. You cannot drive large-scale economic extraction and claim ecological restoration at the same time, not at the scale they are proposing. And the previous orator before me spoke about, I don't know, he was very incomprehensible. The motion tries to have it both ways.
Let the member speak.
The motion tries to have it both ways. Protect the sea, yet extract more from it. Restore coral reef, yet expand marine industries. Promote community justice, yet hand over to private sector exploration. But let's be brutally honest. Most marine degradation today in Mauritius comes directly from economic activities, tourism infrastructure that the members
Junior Minister, I have told you before, please do not make unnecessary gestures towards any member of the House. Please address to this chair.
Okay, my apologies. Tourism infrastructure has damaged lagoons. Overfishing continues despite regulations. And now this motion asks us to scale up the very model that caused the damage while promising it will suddenly be sustainable. That's not strategy, that is greenwashing. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mauritius faces a set of immediate, tangible development challenges, reducing youth employment, like managing public debt, and I can go on and on and on. Let me remind the opposition that our public debt is at 642 billion rupees and a 9.8% budget deficit. Our ship is already navigating through stormy waters, and despite this constraint, we are financing the blue economy. We have said it, not once, not twice, but several times, that we are preparing the Assises de l'Océan to set out a proper blueprint. As regard to operating clause 4, 200 million rupees have been provided to various ministries to finance research. Oh, and while they are busy shouting or sleeping, 164 million rupees is going straight into restoring habitats, fighting beach erosion, and tackling marine pollution. So before throwing big statements around, maybe they should actually do their homework. And let me remind the House, Mauritius has already been recognized by UNEP for its marine protection work.
Please pause for a moment. Yes, do you have a point of order?
If he can't do that.
The point of order will be dismissed. Please continue.
Like my colleague said, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. La Fisheries Act 2023 constitue à elle seule un témoignage clair et tangible de notre engagement. Because, Mr. Speaker, sir, when it comes to blue economy, this government is steering the ship. The opposition is still drawing maps.
Junior Minister, I would like you to conclude, please. Conclude, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And lastly, to conclude, I heard MP Young said for coral restoration, he has said something. But let me ask him one thing. Why should we waste taxpayers' money?
Member, you are addressing the chair. You cannot put a question to the chair. Please rephrase.
It was rhetorical, Mr. Speaker, sir. Why waste taxpayers' money?
Please continue. You are time bound. Please continue and make your conclusion.
Tu as envie de me prendre ma place?
Member, I will not be allowed in this. Please resume your seat. The next speaker will speak. MP Lul Jawaya.
Mr. Speaker, sir, let us all maintain decorum. When the MV Wakashu split upon our reefs in July 2020, Mauritius faced what many called an apocalypse at sea. Over 1,000 tons of heavy oil spilled into our lagoons, threatening to erase centuries of coral growth and the livelihoods of thousands of our fishermen. The world expected paralysis from a small island nation, but instead, Mauritius rose from the fishing villages of Maibu to the women's cooperatives of Rodrigues, from the youth who lined our coast to the SMEs that halted production to supply materials. Our nation acted as one. Together, we built 50 kilometers of oil booms out of sugarcane leaves, plastic bottles, and even human hair. This was not in the textbooks. This was not in the foreign-funded plans. This was Mauritian courage, Mauritian ingenuity, Mauritian resilience. This is in our class, Professor. And out of that unity, new enterprises were born. In Maibu, small family workshops that once stitched school uniforms, retooled overnight to sew productive gear and eco-friendly booms. Within months, those very SMEs transformed again, creating sustainable products from recycled old soil materials, selling them locally and abroad. What was once pollution became innovation, jobs, and dignity. This is the DNA of Mauritian cooperatives, the power to turn crisis into opportunity. And what followed was not despair, but rebirth. The government launched a national oil spill contingency plan, invested in satellite and drone monitoring, supported reef restoration projects like the Mauritius Coral Bank, and extended grants for eco-enterprises and coastal cooperatives. Oh, Mauritius. Out of tragedy came renewal, not because we waited for resolutions, but because Mauritians themselves acted with vision and strength. Now, these resolutions call for oyster restoration projects and genetically engineered supercorals. But why should Mauritius gamble with untested, foreign imported experiments when we already have community-led coral nurseries in Blue Bay, seaweed farming cooperatives in Rodrigues, and ecotourism ventures that empower local women? Our people are not waiting to be saved by foreign models. They are already writing their own. Let us also be clear about the cost. The MV Wakashu cleanup exceeded $34 million US.
Minister, please wrap up.
Much of it relocated from national development. To fund vast new monitoring systems, oyster farms, and supercoral labs would cost hundreds of millions more. Yet the same goals are already being advanced through Mauritian ingenuity and international partnerships without drowning our youth in debt. When history is written, let it not say Mauritius depended on others to tell us how to protect our seas. Let it say, in our darkest hour, Mauritius stood tall. We did not ban. We innovated. We cooperated. We led. Mauritius does not need to be told how to be courageous. It is the pinnacle of courage itself. Thank you.
MP answer.
Mr. Speaker, if it is not us, who? And if it is not now, when?
This motion, Mr. Speaker, is not about challenging one another, but rather work for the future. Some members of the government side is saying that we don't have the money to invest, while others are saying that we should not take examples of other countries. But Mauritius seas are more than just waves. They are life itself. Our coral reefs home to countless marine species, protect our coastlines, sustain livelihood, and enrich our culture. Yet, these treasures are under threat. Rising ocean temperature, pollution, human activity, coral bleaching is turning vibrant reefs into pale, lifeless skeletons. Over the last 30 years, more than half of the world's reefs has suffered this fate, and Mauritius is no exception. But, Mr. Speaker, there is hope. Science is giving us a lifeline. Using CRISPR-Cas9 technology, researchers on the Great Barrier Reef has identified genes that allowed corals to survive heat stress. We should learn from them. It will not cost us much as if we work in collaboration with international universities. Their experts will share their knowledge to our local students. We will not have to spend that much because they already spent a lot in research. We just have to open our gates to them, our waters to them. By allowing those universities, partnering with them, will make Mauritius become an educational hub in Africa. Revenue grows, our economy moves towards knowledge-driven innovation. Foreign students come, conferences are hosted. Our country shines on the global stage. Yet science alone is not enough. Nature herself provides solutions. Take humble oyster, the natural purifier of water. We should rather invest in how to clean our oceans, our lagoons, than to make noises in this chamber. Our nation was built by citizens who work tirelessly day and night, and to make our republic shine, SSR bought a welfare state, and such ensure that it endures and saves lives. There is a clear lesson. Differences must be set aside. The nation comes first. This motion, Mr. Speaker, is not about what has been done, but rather what can be done. Let us allow generations to come to see the beauty of our motherland as we have. As that song said, l'ami de l'ami à nous bâtir nation mauricienne. As someone once said in this chamber, we must think about the future of all Mauritian children. We must stop thinking about community. We must think in terms of Mauritians. Let us make sure that we write a history that shall always be remembered. For a life spent in service is not a sacrifice, but an honor. Let us have a legacy where Mauritius thrives on land and its waters.
Your final sentence.
Okay. May the counsel of the good laws rest upon our shoulders. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Junior Minister Mangura.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. The proposals of the oppositions are indeed very impressive, but when applied to theory, it is far from practical. Earlier, a member of the opposition stated, if Seychelles can, why not Mauritius? In this view, other countries are as well building submarines, so why not Mauritius? Clearly, Mauritius cannot afford to be guided by imported models that look impressive in international reports, but fail in our lagoons and villages. What we need are homegrown solutions that are feasible and grounded. Solutions that truly serve our people and enhance our biodiversity. The proposal to reintroduce oysters, drawing inspirations from the Sonnet project in the UK, simply does not fit our context. The Sonnet restoration worked in cold temperature with very specific ecological situations. Mauritius, by contrast, has tropical, shallow, wave-exposed lagoons. It is often affected by land-based pollution and rising sea temperatures. Assuming that solutions that work other places will work in Mauritius is not science, it is just blind imitation. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, sir, the project itself was resource-intensive and costly. Tens of thousands of oysters were used, with high mortality and constant monitoring. For Mauritius, with our limited budget, this would mean pouring millions into what could become dead oyster cemeteries and dead reefs. And with no provision for disease control systems, we risk importing parasites which have devastated oyster populations in Europe. Mr. Speaker, does the opposition want to solve our problems or create new ones? Instead of investing on oysters, let us focus on what already works here. Coral nurseries that are successfully restoring reef habitats, restoring mangrove parks that shade our coastlines and stores carbon, community-led marine protected areas that support livelihood.
Junior Minister, please wrap up.
These solutions are proven and affordable. They empower communities, protect biodiversity, and deliver resilience against climate change. We don't need oyster fantasies that collapse at the first wave. We need local solutions that enhance our reefs, restore our coast, and protect our people. So let us be bold enough to say no to oyster illusions, and yes to corals, mangroves, and our people. That is how Mauritius will lead the way on SDG 14, with our own solutions, our own strength, and our own people. Thank you.
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, sir, after listening patiently to nearly 20 interventions today, I must confess, if words alone could restore our lagoon, Mauritius would already be the cleanest, greenest ocean on the planet. But unfortunately, speeches do not repair coral reefs, and resolutions written in flowery ink do not create jobs for our young people. The opposition want us to believe that by simply passing this motion, we shall unlock billions, solve unemployment, and heal the seas. It sounds wonderful. Until you ask one simple question. Where is the plan? Where is the money? And where is the realism? My colleagues on this side of the House have already demonstrated how much of this motion is nothing but duplication. Policies already in place, projects already funded, strategies already being executed, from the smart port transformation to coral nurseries, from the Assises de l'Océan to Fisheries Act 2023. This government is steering, not drifting. We are not waiting for someone to draw castles in the sand. We are building it on firm foundations. And yet, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to be constructive. On Operative Clause 3, the famous oyster project, while I admire the opposition's sudden fascination about shellfish, I must propose an amendment. Instead of rushing headfirst into large-scale oyster cultivation, as if oyster alone will save the nation, let us begin with a pilot project. More importantly, let us broaden the scope from oysters to marine life restoration as a whole. Coral, seagrass, mangrove, ecosystems that matter to our biodiversity and our livelihoods. In other words, less oyster obsession, more scientific precision. Because the truth, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that this government does not gamble with the future.
Prime Minister, please wrap up.
We do not run after fashionable experiment or international buzzwords. We act with caution, with competence, with responsibility. So to my friend across the aisle, keep your poetry, we'll keep our policy. Keep your castles in the sand, we'll keep the lighthouse of our guides nation. Mr. Speaker, sir, our duty is not to win applause in this chamber, but to win the trust of the people and to safeguard their tomorrow. On that duty, my government stands firm. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me the floor. The government seems to have a problem with the fact that we wrote a resolution. I would like to remind the House that having a resolution, is compulsory to us being here. We, as the youth of this country, we have a vision. It is no wonder that our island is known as a paradise island. A big part of what makes it a paradise lies in its beautiful marine ecosystem. This paradise island offers resources and it holds largely unexplored economic and environmental potential. I wish to draw the House's attention to the fact that while Mauritius possesses an exclusive economic zone, similar in size to that of India, our revenue from this zone, remains but a small fraction of India's. This is not a direct comparison of output. We recognize that India is a vast country, blessed with a much longer coastline and much more labor than Mauritius. That is true. But India sets a prime example of a transformative potential of marine resources when strategically managed. It reminds us that we are a large ocean nation, not just a small island. The waters around us are a marketplace, a laboratory, and a power station. We need to turn ocean wealth into livelihoods. If we organize our talent, push innovation, and stay at the cutting edge of technology, we can turn blue horizons into blue jobs. We are tired of Mauritius sitting on the backbenches. We need to play on the field. To do so, we need planning. We need a marine justice framework. The marine justice framework is not a law. It is a roadmap that unites our laws, policies, experts, and communities. Its purpose is to protect our marine ecosystems today and secure them for future generations. For example, under this framework, traditional fishing areas will not be blocked by hotels or marinas. Any project impacting communities must come with restoration plans and fair compensation. Women will have reserved seats in council, ensuring their voices are heard and represented. Even its funding is designed to be sustainable. It will come from pollution fines, carbon credits, and green incentives. This is how Mauritius moves from the backbenches to the front lines. Mr. Speaker, sir, planning is meaningless without action. We may be isolated physically, but today we are more connected than ever. Borders are open, knowledge flows freely, and opportunities span the globe. So let us make the most of it. Let us embrace technology, creativity, and international expertise. Maybe the government is not aware of this, but in Hawaii, the University of Hawaii leads the Rapid Resilience Reefs for Coastal Defense Project, creating hybrid coral reefs from both natural and artificial structures to protect coastlines and support marine life. We must bring in experts from leading international universities to guide our coral restoration and climate resilient initiatives so that Mauritius can not only safeguard its oceans, but lead the way into marine innovation. This is how we will show the world what a small island with big ideas can achieve. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, sir, ensemble, avec vision, innovation et collaboration, nous élèverons Maurice et nous élèverons son peuple avec lui. Merci.
Opposition Whip, MPD Gamba, your concluding comment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, members, we acknowledge the amendments proposed by the Prime Minister. As we reach the end of this debate, let us pause to recognize the measures outlined in this motion. From the call for a National Blue Economic Development Plan, the permanent marine ecosystem monitoring system, the reintroduction of native oysters, the research on resilient supercorals, and the education and skills programs for youth and women, each initiative speaks to a vision of Mauritius that is ambitious, sustainable, and inclusive. While we are appreciative of the fact that there are laws and acts existing, the catastrophes and erosion of the capacity of our blue economy point towards the fact that the laws and acts are quite simply inadequate. We are not making empty promises. We demand action on the so-called measures already in place. Unlike our so-called leaders, nous ne faisons pas des promesses aussi brillantes d'apparence qu'obscures d'essence. Speeches do indeed not rebuild lagoons. We do not raise doubt on commitment. We point out inefficiencies. It is rather ironic that the government points out issues with funding and inability to take risks for the betterment of the country, despite our funding plans. As I said, resources are only scarce when there is political inconvenience. These measures are not mere ideas. They are a roadmap for our nation to take its rightful place as a leader in the blue economy. They promise green jobs, innovation, and a future where our oceans are protected and our youth empowered. Indeed, this motion shows us what is possible when vision meets action, though, regrettably, not all vision has yet been matched with the urgency it demands. We acknowledge the intent, even as we urge faster, bolder action. Collaboration will be key across communities, government, and private sectors. Let us remember, an ocean does not flourish with half-hearted stewardship, and a nation does not thrive on cautious convenience. Every delay costs livelihoods, every hesitation risks our heritage, and every unclaimed opportunity diminishes our future. Members, this motion is a challenge and an invitation. It calls on us to rise above complacency, to turn ideas into impact, to transform ambition into achievement. For the youth, for the coastal communities, and for the generations yet to come, we must ensure that our legacy is not one of hesitation, but of bold, uncompromising action. We, the youth of the country, were born to inherit the stars, yet all we ask is a healthy, thriving and sustainable ocean. We are not asking for miracles, we are demanding the courage to match the size of our ocean. And if dreaming big is our crime, then let it be known. It is the dreamers who build this nation, and it is us, dreamers, who will save it. The tide is rising, the winds of change are calling. The question is not whether we can rise, it is whether we dare to rise together. Will Mauritius answer the call? Will we, the youth, the custodians of tomorrow, embrace this responsibility with courage, creativity, and conviction? Let us take this moment to pledge collaboration across communities, across sectors, and across generations. The ocean waits for no one. Our nation waits for no one. I urge you all to vote, not in favor of this motion, but in favor of a brighter future for our country. I now leave you, la tête dans les étoiles, les pieds sur la terre et le cœur à l'océan. I commend the motion to National Youth Parliament. Thank you.
Members, time is over for motion 1. I shall now put the question before the House. The question is that this National Youth Parliament resolves that the ocean economic sectors of Mauritius be sustainably explored to unlock its economic, environmental, and scientific potential, while ensuring the protection of marine biodiversity, pollution reduction, and the empowerment of communities. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Deputy Chair of Committees, MP Kolpu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I beg to move the motion standing in my name, which reads as follows. This National Youth Parliament resolves that a national framework be established for the implementation of public-private partnership schemes in vocational, technical and skill-based training across all levels of education. Mr. Speaker, sir, every generation is entrusted with a mission. Ours is clear. It is to prepare the young people of Mauritius not only to survive in tomorrow's world, but to thrive in it. Yet today, we face a troubling paradox. We have classrooms filled with bright minds, but they graduate without the skills that industries demand. We have talent in abundance, but not the structured pathways to transform that talent into innovation. Today, Mauritius stands at a crossroads. On one side lies a future where our youth remains trapped in cycles of unemployment with dreams that outpace their opportunities. On the other lies a horizon filled with innovation and prosperity. But only if, and I repeat if, we equip our young men and women with the skills of tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, sir, the world is changing faster than ever before. According to the World Economic Forum, more than 1 billion people globally will need to be reskilled to meet the demands of an economy transformed by technology, artificial intelligence, and climate imperatives by 2030. I repeat, 2030. Mauritius, as a small island developing state and a major financial hub in Africa, cannot afford to lag behind. And yet, despite our proud history of investment in education, the reality is sobering. Statistics Mauritius reports that while our youth unemployment stands at around 22%, only 11% of our upper secondary students are currently enrolled in vocational and technical programs. This mismatch is not one of talent, but of opportunity. We are producing bright graduates, but too often they step out into a labor market that demands skills they were never equipped to learn. A recent survey found that 74% of young Mauritians have considered emigrating, most of them citing the lack of adequate training and experience. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is not just a statistic. It is the story of thousands of young men and women who are willing to work, eager to learn, yet left stranded between education and the job market. But why does this happen? Because while academic pathways are structured, vocational and technical training remains underfunded. In 2022, less than 1.3% of the education budget was allocated to vocational training. Enrollment at the Mauritius Institute of Training and Development fell by 10% in just 1 year. As a nation, we are not investing enough in skills that can truly empower our youth. Now, let us look outward. Jamaica created the Heart Trust, funded by a levy on business, which today trains and places tens of thousands of youth every day. Barbados launched the Barbados Institute of Management and Productivity, a joint public and private initiative which now trains over 3,000 people annually in practical, job-oriented skills. And here we are, Mauritius, an island that dreams of becoming a smart nation, a green nation, a blue economy leader. Yet, how can we achieve this if our youth are not trained in renewable energy, ocean science, robotics, and artificial intelligence? These are not subjects of the future, Mr. Speaker, sir. They are the demands of today. If education is the ladder of opportunity, then today, too many of our young people are finding that the rungs of this ladder is broken. The result? Frustration, unemployment, and wasted potential. This motion, Mr. Speaker, sir, is not an accessory to education policy. It is the very foundation of it. If we fail to train our youth for the jobs of today and of tomorrow, we are not just risking unemployment, we are risking an entire generation. But if we dare to act now, Mauritius will not only keep its brightest minds, it will let them shine for the world. And with these words, Mr. Speaker, sir, I commend the motion to the National Youth Parliament. Thank you.
Is the motion seconded?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Seconded.
Thank you. We shall now move to MP Lakshman Yogesh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me start by saying that education is a human right, and every Mauritian is deserving of that right. Quality education should never be about narrowly focusing on creating the next generation of workers. It should be about what our students need. What they need is inclusive, substantial, and equitable education. They need education that empowers each one of them, not just those who fit industry demands. This brings me to my argument. This motion and resolution glorifies STEM as if it's the only path to employment. But what about those students whose strengths lie in arts, humanities, law, and social sciences, and even the creative industries such as music? A national education policy should celebrate diversity of talents, not just STEM. Mr. Speaker, sir, they boast about innovation-driven outcomes in their resolution. But has the government anticipated that STEM is a resource-intensive venture? Nowhere have they mentioned investments in equipment or labs. Is it a lack of effort or just over-reliance on the private sector? May I also note that many schools, especially in the rural or underprivileged areas, do not have the proper science labs today. In the Black River District, 10% of residents lack access to basic sanitation, and schools are often located far from students' home.
The DPM earlier mentioned that the PPP vocational trainings are available at all levels. However, presence does not equal effectiveness. Such PPP projects may exist at all levels, but scale, accessibility, and quality are still lacking. Lest we remember, schools at primary and secondary levels still lack the basic resources such as water and proper electrical connections. The unaddressed problems of internet connections also arises together with the lack of equipment. And we should not and we should never forget about the learners with learning differences such as dyslexia, ADHD, and autism. These rigid demands can be overwhelming and exclusionary. This is unfair to them, as focusing on STEM is unfair to them, as instead of supporting their diverse strengths, this leaves them without adequate support. A national framework should celebrate all abilities, not just technical excellence. Many impaired learners excel in art, music, or detail-oriented work. Furthermore, Mauritius is party to the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which call for inclusive education at all levels. Sur ce, je conclus en affirmant qu'un système éducatif qui n'inclut pas chaque enfant n'est pas un système solide, mais un système défaillant. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Minister Sheikh Hussain.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. While people living in stone houses are trying to throw bricks at others, let us imagine a young student, bright, full of potential, silently struggling with anxiety. Imagine a nurse, exhausted, unable to meet demand because there are simply not enough trained nurse professionals. The World Health Organization warns that by 2030, the world could face a shortage of 18 million health workers. In Mauritius, mental health challenges are rising, especially among the youth. These are not distant numbers, they are real lives. This government has already acted. Through the national framework, our health and education systems are strengthened to ensure care and learning reach every citizen. The Mauritius Institute of Training and Development is producing more nurses, carers, and allied health professionals. Mental health campaigns in schools and communities are reducing stigma, and counseling services are now more accessible. These are not promises, they are realities changing lives today. Yet, we must go further because this government always makes room for improvement. Schools will give students hands-on training and apprenticeships so they live with real skills. The MITD will train more nurses, technicians, and care workers. Universities will work with hospitals and clinics so that graduates, they are ready from day one. Members of this House, let us think on, if we don't take these steps now, who will fill these gaps? These measures will make sure our workforce is ready and every Mauritian can access quality care and support. Mr. Speaker, sir, let us be clear. Supporting this motion is not about politics. It is about survival. And if the opposition chooses to oppose it, I sincerely hope they are ready to explain to the future Mauritians why no one was there to treat them, why care was not available when they needed it the most. This motion is about action, courage, and responsibility. It is about the health, education, and dignity of every Mauritian. I urge all members of this parliament to pass it because every life, every young person, and every community depends on it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, there have been a confusion on my behalf. I have missed Minister Pariag. She will now take the floor. Minister Pariag.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise today with deep support for the motion. While Mauritius has achieved remarkable progress in access to education, we face a growing disconnect between academic achievement and market relevance. According to Statistics Mauritius 2024, sir, youth unemployment stands close to 20%, and yet employers continue to report skill shortages. This paradox demonstrates that there are graduates, but not necessarily graduates with the competencies the industry demands. Education cannot operate in isolation, sir. If we are to equip our youth for the realities of the 21st century economy, we must build structured bridges between the classroom and the world of work. This is where the motion becomes indispensable. By partnering with the private sector, academia, and research institutions, we ensure that what we teach is forward-looking, preparing our youth for jobs that exist today and those that will emerge tomorrow. The expansion is necessary. Such collaborations offers three critical benefits. First, it injects industry relevance into curricula. Second, it enables resource sharing. Third, it enhances our global competitiveness. Mr. Speaker, sir, while we emphasize STEM education, which are the cornerstones at primary and secondary levels, I do stress the importance within this system, the importance of philosophy in shaping critical thinking among our young minds. From the primary level itself, philosophy should encourage students in the spirit of Socratic dialogue, of course, to ask questions, to reflect, to reason with clarity, ensuring that our youth grow not only as employable professions, but also as responsible citizens. I wish to highlight, sir, the words of Mahatma Gandhi. The future depends on what we do in the present. The anticipated outcomes are measurable and ambitious, and on a realistic basis, sir. With this motion, at least 70% of graduates should leave our system with a certified employability skill, be it digital or vocational.
Minister, please wrap up.
Okay, wrapping up, I would like to say that ultimately Mauritius should recognize not merely as a service economy, but knowledge-based and innovation-driven nation. Concluding, Monsieur le Président, when Prime Minister Modi, Indian Prime Minister Modi came to Mauritius, he reminded us that the greatest strength of any nation does not merely lie in its land, but the potential of its people. This motion ensures that our youth are not left behind, but are at the forefront of the global economy. As we act, let us remember, governments may come and go, but this nation must endure. The democracy of this nation must remain eternal. The nation should survive, the nation should unite. Mauritius has to strive to live long as one people, one nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
MP Raghu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at first hearing, this resolution seems very impressive. Impressive indeed, full of fashionable words like PPP and an almost obsessive emphasis on STEM. But when the buzzword fades, what remains is a proposal that is narrow and disconnected from the real challenges of our education system. Mr. Speaker, Clause 1 calls for a national framework for PPPs to integrate STEM-focused training at all levels. But we must ask, who will decide our curriculum? The government or profit-driven private actors? Whose priorities will dominate? The public interest or profit motives? Mr. Speaker, the resolution itself in the 7th preambular clause admits that this will be a collaborative effort to design and certify training, handing over a sovereign responsibility to corporate partners whose primary interest is profit, not nation building. Mr. Speaker, if these actors control education, how can we trust them to serve the public good? Mr. Speaker, building on clause 1, we must ask, what happens after we train our youth? By focusing heavily on STEM through PPPs, this resolution risks turning Mauritius into a training ground for other countries, as our graduates will leave for abroad. The proposed skills and curriculum alignment may forecast skill, but focusing alone cannot create jobs. They cannot enforce hiring, nor can they guarantee our youth will remain here. Clause 1's PPP and STEM focus, dominated by private interests, may train our youth for global market rather than for our own economy. Mr. Speaker, without clear, enforceable retention measures, this resolution hands our talent to others while Mauritius shoulders the cost, turning national investment into foreign profit. Mr. Speaker, Clause 9 proposes a centralized digital youth talent hub under the PPP framework. While this may sound very modern and forward-thinking, in reality it risks deepening inequality. Today, approximately 1 in 5 Mauritians, around 260,000 people, remain offline, meaning that large segment of our youth would be unable to access this digital hub. Mr. Speaker, this supposedly national solution thus becomes exclusive to those with reliable internet and digital literacy, leaving the most vulnerable behind. Mr. Speaker, this directly contradicts the spirit of SDG 4, which calls for equitable and inclusive education for all.
Please wrap up.
Mr. Speaker, by prioritizing a tech-heavy platform without addressing digital gaps, the most vulnerable youth risk being left behind. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister Sigula.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have been listening to the members of the opposition since the very outset of this sitting. It seems to me, while this side of this House is busy delivering solutions, the opposition is busy playing dirty politics. They criticize every proposal, yet offer no constructive alternative. They are more interested in obstruction than in progress, more concerned with headlines than with hard work. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me come to my speech. I rise today with conviction to support this resolution for a national framework on public-private partnership in vocational and technical and skills-based training across all levels of education. Poverty will not be defeated by words, but by giving our young people the skills and confidence to build their own future. This framework, Mr. Speaker, sir, empowers the youth with the tools and mindset needed to shape their own destiny. By encouraging industry participation through apprenticeship, internships, and project-based learning in STEM, we open real doors. Apprenticeship, internship provide work experiences and networks, as well give our youth hope. Project-based learning turns theory into motivation and problem solving. And through innovation and skills hub created with industry partners, we go further, offering advanced training, prototyping, and entrepreneurial development. These hubs will not just produce workers, but entrepreneurs and job creators. Mr. Speaker, sir, behind every statistic lies a real story. A mother hoping her son finds a stable job. A father praying his daughter won't leave school just to sit idle. A family yearning for dignity. This resolution, Mr. Speaker, sir, answers those hopes. It tells our people that their children will not be left behind, that their talents will not go to waste, and that their future is worth investing in. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Speaker, sir, esteemed members of the National Youth Parliament, let us support this resolution with one voice, the Mauritian voice. Poverty will not be defeated by chance, but by design, by skills, and by solidarity. Mr. Speaker, sir, as our national anthem goes on, as one people, as one nation, in peace, justice, and liberty. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
MP Davicharan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This resolution presents itself as ambitious with its emphasis on STEM and public-private partnership. But let's be honest, ambition without realism is dangerous. Our education system is already cracking. Reform cannot just be about framework and big words. They must bring realistic solutions to the issue of unemployment. Pas que du blabla et zéro résultat. Let me begin with the recruitment of school counselors. Finally, something that makes sense. I fully support this measure, but Mr. Speaker, let's not fool ourselves. Counselors alone won't solve this problem until and unless society stops being biased regarding counseling. Far too many people still believe that only those suffering from psychological issues need counselors. C'est pourquoi ce programme doit s'accompagner non seulement de campagnes de sensibilisation et formation spécialisées, mais aussi de l'intégration des conseillers dans la vie scolaire et des vrais partenariats avec les familles. Sans cela, les conseillers risquent de devenir de simples plantes décoratives sur un bureau. But Mr. Speaker, I believe that the 9-year schooling also deserves merit in this resolution. It was supposed to strengthen the foundation. Instead, it has created serious gaps. And to make matters worse, students who face the FASAC are promoted without addressing the learning gaps. The SC results speak for themselves. Pass rate 79% in 2022, down to 73% in 2024. To fix this, we need a combination of structured remedial measures and smaller size classrooms for students to get the individual attention they deserve. We need to review the teacher-student ratio now. And what about the curriculum being changed overnight? Yes, Mr. Speaker, only change is constant. Teachers scramble, parents panic, students suffer, and we are all clueless. Our students are not laboratory rats, nor the cobaye on whom experiments can be tested. Instead of these unplanned changes, why not seize the opportunity to enrich the syllabus with vocational pathway to introduce students to different options they have to be employed? Not every child will walk the traditional school-university route. Regular public school could partner with professionals from private vocational institutes to expose students to practical skills and real career options. Lastly, the famous free credit solution. On paper, it looks inclusive, but in practice, it lowers standards. It sends the wrong message that, don't worry, excellence is optional. What lessons are we teaching to our youth? That mediocrity is acceptable? Quelle belle philosophie de l'excellence nationale. Visez bas pour être sûr de réussir. Comme mes chers collègues de l'autre côté, qui sont la preuve vivante. If we really want to help struggling students, we must strengthen academic support and expand vocational pathway, not dilute standard. Mr. Speaker, let's be clear. The opposition does not oppose reform. We oppose bad reform. But we also believe that solution cannot come alone from one side. For the sake of our youth, we in the opposition are ready to tendre la main au gouvernement because the future of Mauritius is bigger than politics. On ne bâtit pas l'avenir des jeunes avec des réformes improvisées, mais avec de la vision, de la cohérence et du courage. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Deputy Chief Whip, MP Badusi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, today I rise in firm support of this motion. which calls for the adoption of outcome-driven education, strategies that prioritize practical competencies, critical thinking, digital literacy, and entrepreneurial skills to empower our youth for the future. Despite our economic achievements, as mentioned earlier by my colleagues, we are facing a troubling reality. Youth unemployment remains high. And this is indicative of a persistent skills mismatch between what our education system delivers and what industries demand. This mismatch is especially evident in high-value sectors such as ICT, artificial intelligence, pharmaceutical, renewable energy, and advanced manufacturing, where employers struggle to find qualified and competent candidates. Meanwhile, our bright and capable youth, eager for opportunities, keep waiting while same never arrives. Mr. Speaker, sir, public-private partnerships are the bridge between education and industry. We are fortunate to have a dynamic and well-established private sector in Mauritius, enriched by the presence of leading multinational companies. These global giants are renowned for their expertise in ICT and other cutting-edge industries. They have expressed a strong willingness to collaborate with our government in shaping this national framework. Their involvement offers an extraordinary opportunity for our youth to engage with world-class professionals, inquire about advanced skills, and gain exposure to global best practices, resources that are rarely accessible elsewhere. This partnership will empower our young people to unlock their full potential and connect with opportunity they truly desire. We have already decided to expand and diversify vocational and technical education. This government promises to make it accessible, inclusive, and prestigious. Because technical skills are not second class, they are primordial and are the backbone of innovation and economic resilience. This motion is not just about reforming education, it is about restoring dignity to the skilled work and building the pathway for Mauritius to be the leader in STEM and other technical matters. This government does not want our country to just follow and remain behind in worldwide developments such as AI, but now we want to lead globally in such fields. This will only happen if we invest today in curating the potential of our youth. Our government will develop this national framework in a way that both the private and public sector contribute in best ways possible to make this happen. What we sow in our youth today, we shall reap as a flourishing nation tomorrow. Let us be the leaders, building an education system that not only teaches, but transforms. This should be done with the private sector. Quote, l'armée de l'armée, unquote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
MP Payag.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the beautiful words of the government are meant to only do one thing: distract the population from the lack of conviction and competency seen from this side. As a matter of fact, this resolution fails to tackle the most urgent issues pertaining to education today.
Member, please. Yes.
Point of order. The member's conduct is provocative. The member's conduct is provocative.
Please continue. The point of order is dismissed.
Speaker. Rather, the vague promises of an unclear motion all seem to do more harm than good. Take, for example, Mr. Speaker, clause 6. This part relating to the setting up of internationally recognized standards in education seem to come from good intentions. Nonetheless, both their consequences could be rather unfortunate. Firstly, conforming to these standards will undoubtedly add more workload to already overworked school staffs. This will thus undermine the rights of education officers in favor of minuscule changes in statistics reports. Secondly, teachers might have to stray away from doing actual work helping students just to do paperwork so as to ensure that the standards are maintained. The lingering question would be, Mr. Speaker, how will this benefit the students in any way, shape, or form? Moreover, The setting up of career counseling, as mentioned in clause 6, also has core issues. As a matter of fact, many problems might arise with this activity. Firstly, counseling might affect the decision-making process of certain students. Indeed, an over-dependency on career counseling would incur the loss of decision-making skills and confidence in the youth due to them solely relying on a third party in deciding such important choices. Secondly, the bias of some career counselors will assuredly result in them imparting wrong advice, possibly restricting the paths of many young people. Thirdly, advice from career counselors might come from futile trends in employment. This will, without a doubt, affect the prospects of so many of our young talents, preventing them from reaching their full potential. Mr. Speaker, as I have previously mentioned, this resolution is ineffective at best. In fact, it is a distraction from the other issues affecting the Mauritian student populace. Indeed, the government could have addressed the exodus of 252 teachers between 2023 and 2024. It could have addressed the overdependence of students on tuitions. It could have addressed the homogenization of subject choices. Rather, it chooses to increase these problems. All these could have been addressed, but no. No, the government is not ready to bring forth real and meaningful change. No, the government is not insightful enough to look beyond current, often minor trends. And no, the government is not here to try to change the lives of anyone in any unprecedented manner.
Member, please, on his seat. Yes, Junior Minister.
Point of order. The member is imputing motives.
Member, please refrain from making such provocative comments.
Okay, I apologize, Mr. Speaker. Now, let me be clear that we are not against reform, but we should denounce the lack of reform proposed here. In fact, Mr. Speaker, this motion is a mere product of irrelevancy, neither here to bring a seismic change, nor here to even try. In the words that were previously uttered in this House, we should not be called the generation that scrolled TikTok.
Member, please wrap up.
But unfortunately, this motion shows that it might just as well have been written while scrolling TikTok. Thank you very much.
MP Nankou.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in Mauritius, our creativity industries, music, dance, crafts, fashion, film, and visual arts are vibrant expressions of who we are. They are also powerful engines of innovation, youth engagement, and economic growth. Thousands of young Mauritians pour their passion and talents into these fields every day. Yet, too often, their skills remain informal and unrecognized by our education and employment systems. This must change. Today, I speak in strong support of establishing a national framework for public-private partnerships that will strengthen vocational, technical, and skills-based training across all levels of education. Central to this framework is the collaborative development of nationally recognized certification standards, a cornerstone of Sustainable Development Goal 4, which calls for inclusive, equitable, quality education and lifelong learning opportunities for all. Such certification will allow young creatives to earn qualifications that employers trust, institutions accept, and our nation respects both locally and globally. It transforms informal talent and experience into formal opportunity, turning passion into profession. The creative sector in Mauritius already accounts for approximately 3.4% of our GDP and a significant portion of our workforce. We must empower this growth. But these standards cannot be developed in isolation.
MP, please pursue speech. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will
would like to raise a point of order under Standing Order 39. The member is reading his speech. He has to be reminded. I think it has to be reminded
Member,
that
please sit
this
down.
is not a reading, is an essay reading.
Member, please sit down. Members, as Speaker, I shall display a level of compassion towards all members of this House, and it is to my discretion. Please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But these standards cannot be developed in isolation. It demands collaboration, where the government assured to provide the policy framework. Industry leaders will be identified with real market skills in demand. Training institutions will craft practical and relevant programs. And most importantly, practitioners themselves, the artists, craftsmen, and creators must have designed the content, ensuring it reflects our unique culture and lived realities. Imagine a dancer in Triolet, a filmmaker in Maibu, and a fashion designer in Rodrigues, trained through structured programs, assessed fairly, and holding certificates that open doors to jobs, funding, and further education. This is particularly critical when our national youth unemployment rate stands at around 16.6%, a challenge that creativity can help us solve. Let us also seize current opportunities. Our progressive film legislation is attracting global players like Netflix, eager to invest in our stories and talent. The film rebate scheme, which offers up to a 40% cash rebate, has already attracted significant foreign investment. Partnering with such companies to establish arts schools and high school programs in cinematic storytelling will bring global expertise to local creativity. At the same time, by certifying traditional art forms, our Sega, crafts, and oral histories, we not only preserve our cultural heritage, but also create new pathways for pride and income. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is about more than employment. It is about dignity. It is about affirming that creativity is vital to nation building. It is also about telling every young artist in Mauritius, your talent matters, your story matters, your future is here. Let us come together to ensure our creative skills are not only celebrated, but recognized, rewarded, and be respected. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
MP Dinu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I move to adjourn the debate on Friday, 22nd of August, 2025 at 9:30 a.m.
Members, there has been a confusion. The question is that the debate be now adjourned. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the National Youth Parliament do now adjourn to Friday, 22 August 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
Members, the question is that the National Youth Parliament be adjourned to Friday, 22 August 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The National Youth Parliament stands adjourned. Adjournment matters. Yes, MP Dowers.
Monsieur le Président, je m'adresse au Premier ministre. Je souhaite attirer l'attention sur l'urgence des évacuations médicales depuis Rodrigue, rendues difficiles par le nombre limité de vols commerciaux avec Air Mauritius. Chaque retard met en danger la vie de nos citoyens et provoque une inquiétude chez leurs familles. J'exhorte le Premier ministre à se pencher rapidement sur cette question et à garantir un accès immédiat aux soins pour tous les malades de l'île.
Prime Minister, you reply.
Please rest assured, Mr. Speaker, sir, that the matter will be looked into.
Thank you. Next. Yes, Mr. Ansar.
Mr. Speaker,
Sorry. Mr. Speaker, I wish to draw the attention of the Minister of Land Transport to the difficulties faced by citizens living in remote areas regarding bus services. Buses often fail to arrive on time and in some instances do not arrive at all. The situation is causing considerable hardship to inhabitants who depend on public transport. May I respectfully request Minister to look into this matter with urgency. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Land and Transport.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will definitely look into this urgent matter and come back as soon as possible. Thank you.
Any further adjournment matters? Yes, MP Nofo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My concern is addressed to the Minister of Land Transport on a matter of public importance with regard to the noticeable and worrying increase in the number of road accidents resulting in loss of life, serious injuries and material damage. In view of the worsening road safety situation, it would be in the public interest for the Minister to kindly look into this matter urgently and provide immediate and effective solutions. Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, I will look into this urgent matter and come back with concrete solutions very soon. Thank you.
Further, yes, MP.
Thank you for giving me the floor, Mr. Speaker, sir. My question is addressed to the Minister.
It is not a question, member, it is a statement.
Yeah, I apologize. To the Minister of Gender Equality and Family Welfare, I've noticed an exponential rise in domestic violence cases where the survivors were financially dependent on the abuser. These comprise mainly of housewives. After reporting the case, these survivors often have to leave their homes and have absolutely no monetary grant offered to them to cater for their financial needs and those of their children. I wonder what measures the government will take to ensure the financial security of these women. Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. The Ministry has already started on the matter, working on the matter. I will get back when I get more information.
Any further matters? Allow me a moment. Prime Minister, there has been a confusion with regards to adjournment of the House and adjournment of debate. Would you please move again for the adjournment of the House?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the National Youth Parliament do now adjourn to Friday, 22 August 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
Is the motion seconded? Members, the question is that the National Youth Parliament be adjourned to Friday, 22 August 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The National Youth Parliament stands adjourned.